On the next Roseanne show, Roseanne visits the Howard Stern show. Find out why she keeps her hands to herself.
I had Gary sit here because he told me he had a weird incident with you in the green room.
Really?
That you're not shaking hands with anybody anymore.
Oh, yeah, because we started talking. Well, yeah.
Then Roseanne gets the dish from Liz Smith at the Carnegie Deli.
I do flirt with guys on the street and harass them sexually and
You do?
enjoy myself.
On the street?
Sure.
Oh,
That's
my
one of the-
God.
That I was in New York. Well, I just got my photo album put together, and there's some things that you didn't get to see, and we want to show you now. I went to Harlem to share some love and to suck up some good energy. Harlem is a city that means something to a lot of people in this country, and it's also a city on its way back to its former glory. Here's some women to discuss that very issue. 3 great gals from Harlem. Let's talk to them. Please welcome Sylvia Woods, the queen of soul food in Harlem. Dr. Muriel Pettione, for 40 years, one of Harlem's favorite family doctors. And Bernice Nelson, who has run a beauty salon in Harlem for nearly 3 decades. Yeah. This is my favorite segment we do on the show, 3 Great Gals, and here they are, 3 great gals. I like people to come on TV that like normally don't go on TV and tell us about the real world, because we don't get to hear that stuff on TV.
This is the real world.
Will you tell us about you for a minute?
Well, I'm the 3rd generation of women making a difference. And that came from South Carolina, cotton field, tobacco field, cornfield. I didn't enjoy picking cotton. I hate tobacco because there was worms. I was afraid of worms.
Yeah.
So I decided I thought I could do better coming to New York. And I really made a difference. Harlem made a difference for me. Harlem was good to me, but I was good to Harlem. So I decided to try being a waitress. Scared to death because I really, truly did not even know how to give a setup for a customer sitting the opposite side to me. And how would I know how to do or give a setup, because no one never gave me one, because I never was able to eat in a restaurant in South Carolina. My grandmother and my mother, they were widows. My grandfather was hung, and when my mom was a baby, which my grandmother had 4 children to raise.
You mean your grandfather was lynched?
My grandfather was lynched, when you say hanging from a tree, right? And so
in good old South Carolina?
In good old King Street, South Carolina, which is Williamsburg County. And
so you came up here. Tell us how you got to where you are like the biggest restaurateur in this whole neighborhood.
Well, listen, like people ask me, what brought you to New York? And I said, do you know what the Havana Special is? No. I said, that's the fastest train from South Carolina. I said, so the Havana Special brought me, but the cotton field run me. And that's a fact. That is no, you know, a lot of people say things for a joke. This is a fact. The cotton field, without the cotton field and the tobacco field, I think I would have stayed. But I'm so glad I came to New York.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I made a difference in New York.
We're going to talk about the difference in a minute.
Okay.
We're going to meet Dr. Muriel.
Okay.
Can you tell us a minute about your whole experience here? That's a long story to get in a minute. But just tell us a little.
I came here when I was 5 years old from Trinidad. My father came and decided to leave, come here where there were more opportunities. Went to City College at night, took his pre-med, and went to Howard and got his medical degree in 1925. I grew up in the house when we had a home office, and I answered the doorbell and telephone. So by the time I was 12 years old, I decided I wanted to go to medicine too, which I did. I finished Howard University in 1937.
Wow. There wasn't a lot of women then, was there?
No, not many. There was some, but not a lot.
How many women were studying to be doctors then?
In the school when I was there were about 6 of us in the whole school. It was a small school, though, about 300 people in school. But there were many women physicians here in New York. There were several before I started. But there were, in the whole country, there were very few. We knew where, when I came back to New York in 1950, we knew where the women physicians were. There was one in Boston, one in Louisiana, one in Virginia, Philadelphia. I mean, we could count them on the fingers of two hands.
Now they're all over, huh?
All over the place, and specializing in everything. It's been a wonderful...
We should all eat, too. Tell us a quick about you, Bernice.
Well, I'm from South Carolina. I went to beauty school in Hemingway at Sylvia's home, and I came to New York in 1962. I was doing hair at the time. I graduated from beauty school in 1959, but I came to New York in 62.
How'd you get to where you had your own beauty salon?
By doing that, one day my boss and I got into it because someone else came in and was making more money than I was making, and I was there for 6 years. And this young lady came in, and she was making like $20 more than me, and I was doing all the work, the sketch and the garment.
Why was she making more than you?
Well, I said she was making about $20 more because I was in charge of the checks. The sample.
Was she sleeping with the boss or something?
No, no. Well, now, okay, you want to know? I'll tell you. Well, see, during that time, she was a Jew gal.
Oh.
Okay.
So now, you know. And you asked, you know, she was, you know, and she was Caucasian and I was black. So he told me, he said, I said, Mr. Clausen, I said, what about my, I said, I've been here for 6 years. How could this happen? So he said, well, you got to talk to my son, which was Gilbert. So Gil said, well, you just got a raise. So I went back into the sample room where the 3 sample makers used to make for the samples. And I was so upset. So one of the sample makers said, she said, I don't know why you are here. You got a trade. I'm here because I don't have a trade. So I called Wilford Academy, went for advanced course in hair cutting, because I figured I wasn't ready for hair cutting yet. So I got there and I went to school there for 6 weeks. And when I graduated from there, Afros was out. And I made it, and I made it big. I made some magazines by cutting hair, and I cut some of everybody's hair during that time because the beauty salon was going out of business, and all the barbershop went out of business when the Afros came in, like, you know.
We'll be right back with more 3 Great Gals. Let's hear more talk from Harlem's 3 Great Gals. Now, you've seen a major amount of changes around here in your life and your times, haven't you?
Lots.
You think Harlem's on its way back to
I
being?
think so, definitely.
Definitely is. Definitely is.
We're going to
It
bring
looks
it back.
like that,
We're going to
yeah,
make sure, yeah. Because we are Harlem. We are Harlem, and we're going to make a difference.
We're having a whole renaissance now.
Yes.
We've had a lot of the buildings being rehabbed and regentrified, and a lot of businesses are moving into Harlem.
Well, let's talk about what happened here in the last, like, 20 years.
Oh,
What
I'll tell you
happened?
about that.
Something happened real bad, didn't it?
The drugs.
What
The thing
happened
that
bad?
happened was the drugs.
The drugs.
The drugs?
And the
Yeah.
drugs came in the 60s, the early 60s, and that ruined everything.
Yes, it did.
People started robbing and, you know, attacking you. People started leaving, afraid to come up here.
Yes.
We were even afraid to live here.
Yes.
And then people started, the middle class started moving out of Harlem to the suburbs where there were opportunities to move in the suburbs. So Harlem was left to the people who couldn't leave, really.
Right.
Yes.
So you had a lot of abandoned buildings and drug nests and whatnot, and you were afraid to go out in the street because people might hold you up and rob you. People were moving whole households out. They would come in and move a whole apartment out, furniture out. They were so bad. Drugs were really
Because that
bad.
is about drugs, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how do we get rid of the drugs and turn it around? How do we do that here?
You know, I'm not sure what happened.
Something happened to
Well,
change it.
you know, I don't even know myself, but I know on 127th Street where the restaurant was located, that was the candy store for drugs. And people couldn't even cross the street to get to the restaurant. And like my husband and my son, they, you know, would try to keep them away, but at the same time, I was so afraid that, I really was so afraid that with me in the little restaurant business, they say, all you got to do is get one needle and they got you hooked. So that's when I was scared to death. And so I had me a bat behind the counter. Yeah, And I was afraid for my husband and the boys to deal with the addicts. So I started trying to deal with them, sweet talk them, give them food or something like that. And for some reasons, for some good reason, they move on from Lenox Avenue, 127th Street to 8th Avenue. And they really, 7th Avenue first, and they put those people out of business. So they went straight to the river. So then they left us.
But what happened to the people coming up? The younger people are different now, aren't they? I mean, this is what I'm
There's
asking.
not as much drugs out here now as it used to be.
Why? Because something replaced it?
I don't know what it is, because you just don't see as many addicts or crackheads or nothing out here anymore. They're beginning to realize what it is.
Well, that's what I'm trying to ask
Did you hear? Because there's other things besides that, because, I just want to say this, and I hope it's not offending. Like the Muslim now, they are taking interest in getting young people to vote, to let them know it's more than just selling drugs.
Right.
It's more, if you want to be somebody. And like when you go to prison and stay there, which I had a daughter was on the crack. So I stayed there and fought with my daughter and hung by her. Now my daughter got a job and working for the city.
Stand up and take a bow. Get up there, take a bow.
I don't have anything to hide because it was my child.
Yeah, that
and
was
this
your
was
kid.
my child, and like how somebody like Sylvia would look out for my daughter when she would go there and feed her. Paul from the Seville, they would feed. When you know somebody, and then I was out there helping as well.
But you have to come out of your house and you have to take some responsibility for the area you live in, right?
And you can't
have to
hide
kick
it
the
either.
bad stuff out yourself.
You can't hide it and put it under the
Can't
cover.
be afraid. No, it's not South Carolina up here, is it?
No, that's different.
And then
Don't
the
have
other
to
thing
hide.
is your constituency protected you. My patients in the neighborhood, my neighborhood protected me.
Yeah.
Now, don't bother her, Dr.
Yes,
is okay.
exactly.
And I think your people, Bernice,
Was the
probably,
same, yeah.
around the shop and in the neighborhood. Don't
Can I
bother
ask
Bernice.
you one last
Don't bother
question
Miss
before we
Sylvia.
go out? And you better get eating quick, too. That looks too good. I might be over there. I might get all of that meat in a minute. But what are people talking about? What are women talking about? And just in the beauty shop, what are women talking about?
Oh, they're talking about something. Man, when you're working on someone's head, you're close to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're working on their head. And I'm more than just, see, a lot of people underestimate cosmetologists or hairstylists.
Right, because you're like a head shrinker in a
That's
way.
right.
And you're a little bit preacher, too. You're a spiritual
that's
healer.
right, And they talk about their sex life and,
Yeah.
Children,
Well,
sex, everything.
Yeah.
And they talk
Just
about buying these videos and whatever.
What videos?
Videotapes, for sex and all that, And because, they gotta, just because I'm 59, I ain't dead yet,
Bernie, I'm 72 and I'm still alive.
Okay. You are all. How old are you? How old?
84.
And you're still.
I'm 42.
Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for the food and everything else. Nobody come up here and touch this food. I'm not done. More of my photo album when we come back. Hey, when you hear the word dish or scoop, my guest comes to mind immediately. It's Liz Smith, who's like the premier gossip woman of all life. The nosiest woman in the world, aren't you, Liz?
I'm not really that. I'm more laid back about it, I think.
But you-
I don't care that much, Roseanne.
But you are definitely the most influential of all the, we don't want to say
that's
gossip
okay.
columnists.
That's okay.
What do you
sure.
call it?
I don't care. Social commentator like Marcel Proust, or, how about gossip columnist?
I like social commentator like Marcel Proust.
I don't know exactly what I am. I just observe and write about what interests me. And I've always loved everything about entertainment, and I was a big repressed ham myself, so.
Did you want to be an actor?
Oh, I would have loved it, but I had no talent.
So then you just started like gossiping about people who were actors.
No, actually, I went to journalism school, became a real reporter, a real journalist, was a magazine editor, television producer, and finally the New York Daily News years ago asked me to come and start a gossip column for them, and I thought, no, I don't want to do that. Gossip will never amount to anything again since Winchell is dead. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, Walter Winchell.
Yeah.
He like ran the world.
He did. And
How pissed off are you at all the thousands of other like new and young, like 20-year-old gossip people that are all over the place? That
and the good-looking
pop
ones,
up?
I hate them. No,
But I mean, they pop up and then they disappear, and you keep on. You're the Energizer Rabbit. You keep going.
Well, you know, it's like, you know, Gresham's law is that bad money drives out good money. And Liz's law is that all this bad gossip drives out the good gossip. The fun stuff, the stuff we really like that isn't going to, you know, hairlip the Pope or kill anybody.
Do you think there's a whole other consciousness, kind of a lower consciousness about other people that are doing it? And I mean, like, I'm thinking of like really young people I've seen like really have no idea what they're talking about and just throw the dirt against the wall to see what sticks.
I think it's pretty irresponsible, but it just would sound self-righteous if I started saying they shouldn't do it. You know, it's a free country, and the great thing about a pluralistic, democratic society is that you can attack people, they can attack you back, everybody can say what they think. I think free speech is more important than our sensitivities and our sensibilities.
What's the largest story you've ever broken?
The one that caused the most furor was the Ivana and Donald Trump divorce.
That was
because
huge.
once that started, it went on for 3 months, and it was like riding a tiger. I couldn't get off. My producers at NBC would call me at 7 every morning and say, "What have you got? What have you got?" And of course, I didn't have anything that early in the morning.
Were you the first
went
person
on.
that printed that they were getting divorced?
Yes.
But you had some like backstage gossip stuff. Like you had sources,
I had tried
right?
for about 9 months to write the story, but I couldn't get any confirmation of it, so I kept not writing it. And I kept writing Donald letters saying, "Don't you want to address this? Wouldn't it be better if you just fessed up?" and so forth. But finally, Ivana came and laid the story in my lap. So I didn't run around like a good reporter, you know, with a ticket in my hat and get this story. I mean, it just came my way.
And you know them, Ivana and.
I knew them both very well.
And are you still friendly with them, or did
I
that?
am. Now I'm friendly with both of them again, but for a while Donald wasn't too friendly with me.
That would be really hard to like keep your friends and have this kind of a job where you would put that at risk.
It's the big thing. If you're any good, you have access.
Right.
But then if you have access, you fall into ass kissing, and you have to be careful. You know, you have to try to keep some kind of distance from it and some perspective. I just try to keep a little perspective. It's not brain surgery.
And then like having that big journalism background where it would be like that detachment and objectivity and all that other stuff they say there. You know, you're supposed to learn.
Well, lots of them are journalists, as a matter of fact, some of my best friends. And you know, now journalists and television news people are bigger stars than the people when
that
Barbara
right?
Walters goes to talk to somebody, they can't be as famous as she is.
No one can be as famous as Barbara Walters.
You know, I mean, she's just there.
And she, you know, she plays this trick on you when you do her interviews. She acts like she's like, well, she really, just before the camera goes on, she leans over and tells you something very interesting about her that like is kind of flabbergasting because she's so open with you, and then you get a little bit.
She's your intimate friend.
Yeah, and so you're like, wow, what a great. And then the camera goes on you.
That's right.
And then you're like,
and you're a jerk.
I always lose that line between. I mean, I think I'm better at it now, but a lot of times I lost the line of objectivity for myself because. You know, when I talk to you on the phone, then I'm just spilling my guts, or you know.
Right.
And then when I see it in print, I'm like, oh my God, what did I say? So,
well, it's very good when people are talking to you and they don't know what they're doing. You know, they've forgotten that you're a journalist or whatever.
that happens, though. Is that what you guys like? Do you wait for that?
I think I get a little mileage from that, but I'm pretty sensitive to what you know, would be hurtful to somebody, or it would have to be a real good reason to hurt somebody.
No, I see the line you
Like,
walk.
you
It's
know what
very
I mean?
sensitive.
Like, if you were, for instance, let's say you're a total mad person on this show and you're spending millions of dollars and you're about to sink King World and all of that.
Oh.
That would be a legitimate story.
What, is
you
this
know,
the story
even
you're gonna
against
run?
your-
After we
Absolutely.
go to New York and all the money we spent here on clothing, did they plant that with you?
No, I just made it up, Roseanne. I made it up.
It's close. It's dangerously close to the truth.
That's true.
We have had the best time in New York. What's so awesome about New York? How come? Here's a good question for you. How awesome is it to live in New York rather than Los Angeles?
It's much more exciting and compelling and demanding. You know, in Los Angeles, I'm always just having a ball. I'm in a car and I'm driving
Right.
someplace and having a Mai Tai and doing all kind of things. In New York, I'm like a dancing mouse, busy night and day. But I love the pressure of it. There's just nothing like New York. It's unique. It's the capital of the world.
And so the capital of the world, and here you are, the premier gossip columnist. I hate the word gossip, but I can't think of anything.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Whatever.
It's an okay word.
Entertainment reporter.
Yeah, that
Okay,
too.
you're the premier one in the premier city. And how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it nearly 30 years. I'm old.
Wow.
I've been around a long time.
You have been around a long time. How do you
Yeah.
feel about being old?
I love it. I tell you, old age agreed with me. I never had any success till I was already, you know, ready to get my first Social Security check. I mean, I'd had success of a kind, but I had never made any money or become famous, and so everything has happened to me since I was 65.
Wow. What about the internal world? Is that improving too with age?
Yeah, I have more fun with guys now. I
do?
flirt with guys on the street and harass them sexually and
You do?
enjoy myself.
On the street?
Sure.
Oh, my God.
That's one of the reasons you want to live in New York.
That you can harass guys
Endless
sexually on the
opportunities.
street? You're an odd woman, Les.
Oh, you could
No,
say
I
that again.
harassed. I had a Julio on one of these shows.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe it. Like I kissed so many guys since I got to New York,
See?
including Julio.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I don't think a person can get too much kissing.
I think it's true that the older I get too, the easier it is to sexually harass men
but
on
you're
the
still
street.
in your prime.
I'm so in my prime. I'm like, I'm on fire, Les.
That's great. That's good. That's the way women are supposed to be.
Yeah, like when we approach our 50th year, which I am.
I can't believe it. Not a line in your face. You're beautiful.
Well, I've had, write this down, several plastic surgeries.
Well, me too.
Thank you.
Or I wouldn't still be here. I would still be working on
How much
television.
plastic surgery have you had?
I've had 2 facelifts.
How long did you space it between? Because I had one 7 years ago, and I don't know how long to
Well,
wait
I
for
had my
another one.
first one when I was pretty young. I was only 46, and there was something corrective I was having done because I'd been in a car accident. So I just went ahead and had the whole thing done, though they said, you're a little young. That was considered young in 63, I guess.
Do you think it's...
And I waited 10 years and had it again.
Here's a good question that made me think of. Are women getting older or better? Because it seems like our shelf life is getting longer, right?
Well, I think they're getting better because they cope with age better. They look better. They look younger. People don't dress for their age. You know, you can still be as young as you want to be in a way, unless you become ill.
Right.
I think the possibilities are limitless. The other night I was the MC of a charity event, and Kitty Hart got up and sang, and there she is.
Wow.
She's up there singing, and she's 83 or something. And it's great. She's still working.
Because I was thinking of you sitting here and saying that you're old. No woman would ever say that, like,
Well, I don't feel like
10
I'm
or so
old.
years ago. We never would say
But I'll
that.
be 75 in
Oh, my
February.
God, that's
so
wonderful.
I'm proud that I'm still propped up.
It's great that you're so proud. Do you have any news-breaking scoop that you'd like to break here on the show?
Do I? Do
you?
Well, I do know
Got
one
anything
thing that
good?
nobody knows. That
Oh, boy, what is that?
Dustin Hoffman is going to be the American Film Institute's honoree in February. And you know, that's a bigger honor than winning the Oscar, because that means you already won it several times.
Is that what that means?
It does. It's an important thing.
Oh.
Very big for movies.
I didn't know that.
And then they say that...
I thought you were going to say something good, like
Oh,
he's
something
getting a
like-
divorce or having a baby with his maid or something.
If I knew that, I would have said that too.
Well, that's good. Congratulations to Dustin Hoffman. He's a fantastic actor.
Good actor.
You are a
Anybody who
wonderful-
made Tootsie, okay in my book.
I think he goes around like that off camera, but don't print it. Thank you for meeting me here at Carnegie, and now we
It was
can
my
eat.
pleasure. Can I have some of your
Have some
sandwich?
of my sandwich they're naming after me, Liz, please. Dig in.
Wow.
Isn't that fantastic?
I've prepared the Roseanne sandwich for everybody. Want some? No, I think I'll just eat it myself. More of my New York memories when we return. One of my good friends and one of the writers on this show, as well as a hilarious comedian, Paul Mooney, shared his thoughts about race and black Hollywood. Let's hear what he has to say. Paul, how nice to be with you at the Apollo.
It's the only place to be.
How many times have you performed here?
A lot of times, and I've worked with every major theater in America because I opened in 1986, 87 for Eddie Murphy and Raw. So every major venue, I mean the biggest, Carnegie Hall, all of them. And I never felt that I'd made it until I got on this stage and the Apollo audience accepted me. I started crying. I felt that I was home. That's when I felt like I made it. My grandmother told me that God made the white man to worship God. He made the black man to worship God. And the white man said, no, I am God. I'm not going to worship God. You're going to worship me. And I'm going to create a religion. I'm going to call it racism. And people treat race like a religion. You talk to them about it, they'll get violent with you. And that's the statement that she made to me, and I never forgot it. Now, we just lost about 5 states.
No.
Go ahead.
No, how do you go? No, we did it because I think it's time that people really want to hear. People want to hear. Because they know the whole world's ready to blow up.
Yeah.
Everybody's ready to burn down the next guy's house. I mean, come on.
But it goes back to the biblical days, you know. And people get uptight. The celebrities don't talk about me. They'll make fun of me. They talk about Jesus. They think they're better than Jesus. They talk about anybody that's out there in the limelight, and it really gets on my nerve because it goes back to hate. Like when they went up on the hill, that what was it, that with the horns that they had when they started worshiping the people from Israel. You know, they started worshiping.
You mean the golden calf?
Yeah, that was for hate. You know, they just wanted something to dislike. It's the way it goes.
Well, that's human nature to hate.
Yeah. And
Isn't
here in New York.
It's human nature to be afraid and like look at people and be like.
Well, it is. Here in New York.
But aren't we supposed to get over that after like 2,000 years of culture?
No, that's the way there should be human beings are socially. We only got over when people were primitive because they didn't have time. They had to find something to eat and then go hide before something ate them. So, it becomes social because when you watch children, you watch kids, they play together, they have no racial thing. And it gets until when they get a little older, the parents start putting the crap on them. But other than that, they'll hold hands, they'll all be hugging, and then it all changes. The social comes into it.
Okay, let's talk about the social.
The social thing.
Let's talk about some social things, such as movies. Shall we?
Hollywood?
Well, let's talk about movies.
It's the funniest, honey. The latest is Beloved. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to upset you, but the latest is Beloved.
What are you going to talk about, Beloved? That
Because
was
it's,
a great
honey,
movie.
stop it. I mean, honey, I saw the previews and it scared me. It did.
What were you scared
It's the
of?
slavery stuff. I've been there, done that. I'm tired of that. I don't want to see that. Oprah has all that money. Do a movie about the Queen of England or something. I mean, I don't want to hear about those damn slavery. That's just me. I don't. And the storyline of her, she just hated slavery so much, she cut her children's throat and all that. But she was still around. So it wasn't that bad. Why did she stay around? It reminded me of that woman in Los Angeles on the freeway was driving and threw her baby out. But God protected the baby lived. She threw the baby out. She said, I didn't want my baby to live in this kind of world. But she had on 2 seatbelts. And see, and like, it bothers me. It's like here with the whole Jewish thing, especially here in New York, this whole the blacks pitting against each other. They don't like each other. The Jews did this, the blacks do that. And it's a bunch of crap because I saw.
Well, me and you spent hours
We
talking
spent talking about
about
it, but it's true. But 2 men in a burning house shouldn't stop to argue. We're on the same boat.
What's the closest to like being real African-American culture that you've ever seen in the movies?
Soul Food was the closest, but I wasn't. Yeah, it was. And we loved it. But you know what? I wasn't that impressed because it was very bourgeois. They had things. If you're gonna do,
Bad
yeah, if you're gonna do real ethnic black film, be real. How about no food? Black people hungry for 2 hours. Arguing over food stamps. Special effects, stomachs growling. That's how I feel about it.
How tired of all the BS are you, Paul?
Well, in Hollywood, I wish they would just grow up and let's move on to the 90s because it's like this thing with Belly, this new hip-hop thing that's out. I don't like all that. It's like everybody's trying to do Boys in the Hood. Well, I got news for them. The boys have grown up. They're in school now.
Thank you, Paul. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Paul Mooney. This is my rabbi and my teacher. He is a good friend that I go to for advice all the time. He's in New York, and he just blows my mind. Is that the number one thing that we're on earth to learn, is how to respect other people?
I think there's only one lesson in the entire world, is when we can begin to discard all of the yardsticks in which we measure people and how we should behave with all of these people. I think it all boils down to that one idea. Just feel and look at the person in front of you and say, there's a person, no matter what he's done, no matter how wrong he is, but he should not or she should not be denied the sensitivity of human dignity.
Tell us what's going to happen in the next 306 days, Rob. When everybody's talking about the millennium, everybody's talking about the change of the century. What does Kabbalah say is going to happen in the year 2000?
Well, the year 2000 for the Kabbalists has been something so strange as limbs that were lost, kidneys that were lost, teeth that were lost, for whatever reason. And how it's going to happen, maybe science is providing us with a little, insight. But everyone who has some pain, physical pain, all of that is going to be regenerated. I mean, that's incredible.
So you mean like if someone has lost a limb, science is going to figure the way to grow it back?
That's right. Now this was stated millenniums ago. And I think that's the excitement.
Is that what we
anyway.
unconsciously
We unconsciously have that information. It's just that it hasn't, turned into.
Well, we're just not talking about it yet. But somewhere in the world they are talking about it. Because I met this guy about 2 years ago, and he was in the DNA human tissue stuff.
Right.
He's like a scientist, and he said it's coming too.
Really?
He said that they talk about it all the time. We just haven't heard it yet. So it's about people with spinal cord regeneration and
people with paralysis, people who can't move.
So this was like a thought in the spiritual world for thousands of years, and now it's coming to the physical world.
Yeah, and what's beautiful is that where science and maybe Kabbalah was just there up on that level of the intellect and scholar and so on, the beautiful thing, according to the Kabbalah, is that the people are all going to understand this and understand exactly how they're going to participate. It's like a curtain that's going to be moved, and everyone sees and understands that.
And is that curtain also about immortality?
Sometimes I even hesitate to mention that because you talk about immortality. We're going to live forever, and then some people have asked me when I did say it, well, what about, I may not have enough money in my pension fund, keep going and so on. But but that is true. Immortality is one of the exciting things, meaning people no longer going to die. Well, what do you mean? But people get old. But the Kabbalah says that we don't have to get old. We don't have to get old. But in fact, I'd like to inject at this moment. And that's why I think the people out there in the street, they'll probably get to immortality sooner than the intellectual or the scholar. And the reason I say that is because for the people, for that person in the street, if he can grab the idea of what we discussed, you know, about being sensitive, about treating other people with human dignity, that's going to be the prerequisite. Can you imagine?
That's the key?
That's the key. You don't have to go to Harvard. You don't have to go anywhere. You get this thorough education to be able to exercise the idea of getting younger. But science says they've discovered already the genes of immortality, and they say there's no reason why we should age. I mean, that's coming out from science's point of view. But from the Kabbalistic point of view, if you fill that requirement, that no matter who's in front of you at that given moment, and you've got all the right reasons why you don't like them, right?
Right.
But you say no. No, for all the right reasons, I am not going to give up that idea that I have to treat everyone around me, irrespective of what they did to me and so on. Doesn't mean I have to permit them to slap me and do all the, but my response to other people has to be with that kind of dignity.
So if we all do it enough, treat each other with enough dignity and enough respect, the reward that we're going to get for ourselves is to live forever.
That's right, and not be sick, not have the pain and suffering, you know, that we all undergo. I mean, almost nobody escapes that part of it. But isn't that too simple to be true?
It's wonderful and simple, and I believe it, and I feel it working in my life, and I know a lot of other people who do too, and thank you very much for talking to me on camera. I can't wait till it goes on TV and people hear it.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
On the next Roseanne show, Barry Manilow sings Sinatra, and Suzanne Summers comes undone.
Wandering in the night.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for. He is the king of all media, Howard Stern. Check this out.
I had Gary sit here because he told me he had a weird incident with you in the green room.
Really?
That you're not shaking hands with anybody anymore.
Oh, yeah, because we started talking. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny he told me you have it, too.
Well, I suffered from obsessive-compulsive disorder for 20 years. And I wrote a book, you know, I wrote about it in my book. But it was the worst, and I got rid of it.
How'd you get rid of it?
Completely.
How?
I had a miracle in my life.
Like what?
I had mental illness, and I got rid of it.
How did you get rid of mental illness? Tell me. I need to know.
Part of it.
I'll tell you exactly. But anyway, what happened, Gary, when you don't worry, he's not going to shake your hand. He's just getting the microphone.
What happened?
Don't worry. I really got rid of mental illness. I'm so proud of myself.
Well, I wouldn't say all of it.
A lot of it. Go ahead.
Roseanne's been on the show a lot of times, so she always says hello to everybody. And I went to say hello, and I stuck my hand out. And she was very nice, and she just said, you know, I'm really sorry. I have this weird thing going on. I can't shake your hand. And I said, well, is it like carpal tunnel, or is it like a germ thing? She's like, it's the germ thing. I'm just having this germ phobia.
So you have no problem.
Now, this is a new thing for you.
You have no problem. You have no.
Every day is a new
But then,
See, you have no problem admitting your mental illness.
Well, because I don't want to, I'll do anything to not have to touch people's hands.
Well, the thing that saved me was, like, when I was out in public, I would be too embarrassed to admit I was mental.
And so you'd shake.
So I would shake the hands, and then I would just, you know, like, deal with it in some way. You know what I mean?
But then she wanted to say hello to Ice Cube.
Right.
And because she offered me a hug instead of a handshake, and I said, if you don't want to, that's fine. And then she hugged Ice Cube, but didn't shake his hand.
Did you tell Ice Cube you couldn't shake his hand?
She told him too.
Yeah.
I shook all those guys'
And then
hands.
she said this is a relatively new thing, and she's already gone through a period of wearing gloves as well.
So Roseanne,
when you
I still do that a little.
Wait a minute.
I have gloves where I cut the fingers off.
Wait a minute.
What?
I figured it out about Michael Jackson, though.
Yeah, he has it too.
But he definitely has the glove thing. That's what it's.
Oh, I've said that for years.
That's what I was going to ask you. When you saw Michael Jackson, didn't you think that was weird?
With the glove?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was weird. Always.
And now you're doing it.
Well, I have, yeah.
It's different when she does it. But wait a second.
I figured out about Michael Jackson that it's a two-pronged thing with him. It's like
Right.
there's a good hand and a bad hand.
Right.
And the good hand is the gloved one that's like, real,
Well, you really got OCD now.
his bad hand touches bad things.
Yeah.
And then he can't let the bad hand touch the good hand. That's why he wears the glove. I figured it out.
Yeah, you're not far off.
I figured that out. I went berserk and got into the glove thing.
So wait, so when you hug Ice Cube, you had to go up to him and say, listen, you have to give him the whole spiel. I'm going through a thing where I can't shake people's hands, so I want to hug you.
Oh, because I was at the Apollo this week,
Right.
and people coming up from the audience to shake my hand, and I was like really in the heat of like the fever of when you first get an OCD thing. It's a fever.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Right.
I think you do.
Believe me, I do.
And this guy comes up and I'm like, hey, I will hug you or kiss you or anything, but don't make me. I'll rub your arm.
And you also realize
it
makes no sense because hugging a person probably spreads more germs
No.
than touching.
Clothes on.
Yeah, but your face is near
Clothes
them.
have germs on them.
Yeah, your clothes are covered.
You're not touching their naked self.
Howard, the funniest thing is that this whole thing was precipitated by a cashier at a restaurant. Roseanne went to go get the mints, and the waitress, the cashier said, "Don't
touch the bowl of mints because they're the filthiest thing in the world." She said to me, because people don't wash their hands in the bathroom. They come out and
they grab a mint.
And then I went berserk because I realized my whole life I've rushed for those mints and downed as many armfuls of them as I could, and it just kind of grossed me out that I had done that. And then Howie Mandel told me
he's got it.
Yeah, he's got it bad.
Real bad.
Don't touch the thing in the bathroom when you go to wash your hands because that's where all the filth is.
Yeah, he's a mess. He's got it real bad, but nobody had it worse than me. I had it so bad. I mean, I had to touch doors 20 times and touch like
I thought you were that kind of a person.
Yeah, it's people who
thing,
it's people who worry too much.
We'll be right back. Carnegie Deli. Here we are, home sweet home. Hey, how are you doing? It's been many moons since I saw you.
Since you were here last, we named the sandwich after you.
Oh, really? What would that be?
Well, we got ham, we got pastrami, we got bologna, and we got the tongue.
That sounds like me.
Got, your little ham in there, and then we got a big tongue, we know
A lot of bologna.
A lot of bologna.
Imagine a day outdoors without the runny nose. Imagine a day indoors without the itchy eyes. Make it happen with Benadryl. Most prescription allergy medicines don't promise indoor relief. Benadryl does. It's the histamine blocker that blocks histamines indoors and out. Get outdoor relief and indoor relief for you and your family. Benadryl. Imagine life without allergies.
Is about to discover just how strong Charmin Ultra is. Strong enough for this. The strongest bathroom tissue there is. And it's still facial tissue soft. Charmin Ultra, where softness and strength form the perfect combination. Charmin, where would you be without it?
Just for Feet has the warm-ups for you, whether you swing or not. Like Fila for $69.99. Reebok for $59.99. Apex for $49.99. And Silk for $39.99. Some for even less. So, whether you swing, swoon, stomp, scoot, swim, shag, dip, tap, twist, or tango, Just for Feet has the warm-ups for you this holiday season.
If life's a house, it's a metaphor, folks. What floor are you living on?
I'm going to the 3rd floor.
This is your diva education. She was definitely in the dumps.
I was below the basement.
Everybody's entitled to a basement moment. Had me one the other day. I was in the basement eating coconut cake. Now we're going to find out how to climb to the top. How do you get attic moments? Simplicity. I don't live in attic. People that live in the attic, they don't have a lot of clothes.
Next over. Tomorrow at 4, here on Channel 8.
Hey, did you ever notice sometimes on your phone bill it says payment received, thank you? Well, what are they thanking you for? You didn't send them the money out of the goodness of your heart. You did it because you don't want to communicate with drums and carrier pigeons for the rest of your life. Hey, if there's any thanking to be done, it's you who ought to be thankful for 10-10-220. When you dial 10-10-220, you pay only 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes and just 10 cents a minute after that. Anytime, any day. It's a good deal. Someday you'll thank me.
Leonard and Vernita Cox wanted to refinance their house. It took the bank 60 days just to return their call, so they called the money store. From the time they applied to the time they got their check, 11 days. That's all it took to pay off their bills and get back on track. So give us a call. Some things are too important to put on hold.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Nobody can spot a big idea quicker than a mom. Who else can look at a simple Gladware container and know in a flash just how many nifty ways you can use it, reuse it, and at around 50 cents each, even afford to lose it? Gladware saves things, but you can give it away. Hey, moms know when to let go. Yes, it's Gladware from Glad. Moms who know Glad.
Every evening, in every home, parents say goodnight in the same loving language. And when your child has a cold, he needs the added touch of Vicks Vapor Rub. The warmth of your touch releases the medicated vapors that quickly relieve congestion and calm coughing, so you can cradle him in love and comfort all night. Sweet dreams. Nothing feels better than a Vapor Rub touch.
Now, even in the middle of winter, I can grow fresh herbs indoors with my Chia Herb Garden. The Chia Herb Garden growing kit contains everything I need. And what I like best is this natural chia growing sponge. No more messy potting soil. It holds just the right amount of air and moisture to help my herbs grow nice and healthy. Chia Herb Garden, the perfect gift. I bought one for my mother, my friend, my neighbor, and myself.
Available at Eckerd, Walgreens, Drug Emporium, and Texas Drug Warehouse.
There's one way to break the language barrier.
I'm pretty much lost here.
And that's a healthy white smile.
Molto gracias.
Crest Extra Whitening. It gently polishes like a dentist's paste to let your natural whiteness shine through. And that's not hard to interpret. Crest Extra Whitening. Behind that healthy smile, there's a Crest kit.
Imagine a day without allergies, without sinus pressure, headache, and pain. Make it happen with Benadryl Allergy Sinus Headache. Unlike the leading prescription allergy medicines that don't have a pain reliever, Benadryl Allergy Sinus Headache gives you maximum strength sinus pain relief, plus the allergy relief of Benadryl's histamine blocker. Imagine life without allergies and sinus pain with Benadryl.
Does your lumpy old mattress have you counting sheep at night? Then come to the Mattress Firm during our holiday cash giveaway sale for your chance to win a mattress with $10,000 cash. That's right, $10,000. Plus, find a Queen Sealy Posturepedic set, only $298, our lowest price of the year. So stop by any Mattress Firm location today and register to win $10,000 during our holiday cash giveaway sale.
Just for Feet has the warm-ups for you, whether you swing or not. Like Fila for $69.99. Reebok for $59.99. Apex for $49.99. And Silk for $39.99. Some for even less. So, whether you swing, swoon, stomp, scoot, swim, shag, dip, tap, twist, or tango, Just for Feet has the warm-ups for you this holiday season.
'Tis a special time of year. 'Tis the season to be jolly. So put some pep into your step with an annual holiday tradition, the Neiman Marcus Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade. It's a joyful celebration with friends, family, floats, and lots of fun. A holiday fantasy that makes children's faces light up and makes grown-ups feel like kids again. So don't miss the Neiman Marcus Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade. Saturday morning at 10 here on Channel 8.
It's a November to remember on The Roseanne Show. Scheduled to appear Sharon Stone, Stephen Baldwin, Bette Midler, Martin Short, Melanie Griffith, Rosie O'Donnell, Ellen DeGeneres, Donald Trump, John Goodman, John Lovitz, Della Reese, and Enrique Iglesias. Watch The Roseanne Show all this month to see all your favorite stars. And you know with Roseanne, it'll be a November to remember.
It's amazing what some people will do to save a little money.
Found it!
What a piece of work.
Yet with one call to GEICO, you could save 15% or more on car insurance. And considering the alternatives, making a phone call is pretty simple.
Amateur.
GEICO Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Water. It's in every strand of hair. But blow drying can dry it out. The new Sensor Care from Philips has a unique heat sensor that measures your hair's temperature and automatically adjusts, so your hair never overheats. It's healthy, shiny, full of life. The new Sensor Care from Philips.
Looking for an exotic experience in Dallas? Visit the Dallas Zoo. Discover Lemur Lookout, where loud lemurs leap. Ride the monorail safari through the wilds of Africa, where animals romp and roam freely in natural habitats. See gorillas in their award-winning 2-acre home. The Dallas Zoo is open every day except Christmas and is just 3 miles south of downtown off I-35. You can also ride the DART light rail line directly to the Dallas Zoo station. The Dallas Zoo, it's a real live adventure.
I kind of felt that depression was my fault and it's something that I should be able to fix on my own.
People think that you can just change your state of mind, and you can, but it is a disease.
And I realized that I couldn't fix it myself, that I needed help. And people were there to point it out that, yes, we can help you, and it's not your fault.
Mental illness is something that's very common. Some people, unfortunately, don't get that help, but for those who are reaching out, I want them to know that there's nothing wrong with reaching out for help.
I think what's really ideal is being able to tell people that there's a lot of different things available for them in terms of getting help.
Treatment for depression has one of the most successful rates. Often a few sessions of psychotherapy can give a person the tools to overcome their depression.
I think you ask the right person for the right kind of help and you usually get it.
Don't wait. Call today.
I asked for help.
Hey, if you're in the LA area and want to see my show, call 1-800-485-6885.
There's this saying that sobriety can't open the gates of heaven to let you in, but it can open the gates of hell to let you out.
Many more people die as a result of addiction to a substance than get help.
You want to change desperately, and you can't do it.
What calling will offer you is the opportunity to do something about that problem.
And I want you to know that it's okay to feel how you're feeling and that I'm here to help you.
Don't wait. Call today.
They saved my life.
Buy Factory Direct. The Jewelry Exchange in Richardson has a complete factory in full view and guarantees their jewelry to be the lowest price. Compare Tiffany's 1-carat invisible bands for over $5,000 with the Jewelry Exchange's GVS quality for $1,600. 1-carat pendants are $249, 2-carat tennis bracelets $349, and 1-carat studs $399. We carry thousands of rings, bracelets, earrings, and pendants. Our prices are so low that we guarantee all our jewelry to appraise for at least double. The Jewelry Exchange in Richardson.
Dentine Ice.
Dentine Ice.
Frosty outside, inside a chewing gum made to hold on to the cold. Dentine Ice, now in cinnamon too. Nothing's colder than ice.
Square off for laughs on Hollywood Squares.
If you were a Civil War soldier who smuggled liquor in your boots, you would be known as... popular. This job ranks as the worst overall. What is it?
Janet Reno's fashion coordinator.
Join Ian Ziering, Sharon Lawrence, Paul Schaefer, Richard Belzer, and Robert Klein all this week on Hollywood Squares. There's a laugh at every single square.
Tomorrow at 3:30 here on Channel 8.
Johnny Watkins has a lot of things. Last March, he finally got what he really wanted. He and his brother were adopted together and became part of a family. To help a child become part of your family, call 1-800-TO-ADOPT.
Aquafresh Whitening. It gently breaks up stains to get teeth whiter. Not even Rembrandt whitens better. Aquafresh Whitening for dazzling whiter teeth.
Who does Susie Carmichael think she is? What are you doing?
When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
One holiday gift is already making spirits bright in homes across America. Give the gift of wonder.
Wow.
The gift of family fun. Disney's all-new animated adventure, The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride. Give this special gift while you still can.
Come on, let's look.
Looking for
I had no idea.
more cough relief? Vicks 44 has a variety of 8-hour formulas, so whatever kind of cough you have,
The things you learn.
you get more with Vicks 44.
This holiday at Just for Feet. Rock bottom prices on all your favorite hiking brands. The Timberland MPO 9000 for men, $49.99. And the MPO 6000 Low for women, $39.99. Yukon hiking shoes and assorted Fila hikers for men, women, and kids, just $29.99. K-Swiss hikers for women and Novatos for men, women, and kids, just $19.99. Hiking boots on sale this week at rock bottom prices. Just for Feet, where the 13th pair is free.
It happens to one child in 60 and to one adult in 10. Hearing loss. But it doesn't stop people from reaching each other. Learn new ways to communicate and find out more about hearing loss, early detection, and intervention by contacting the Deaf Action Center. Don't keep quiet about hearing loss.
Constipation. You feel bloated, not like yourself.
Fibercon relieves bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
Fibercon, be regular, be yourself.
New CompuServe 4.0. Better, faster, easier. For those serious about internet online, get new CompuServe 4.0. Call now.
So you don't feel this. Your dentist rubs a pain reliever on first. It's the same strength pain reliever you get in this.
For dentist strength pain relief, get maximum strength Anbesol.
Introducing Suave antibacterial hand soap. Now you can kill germs and moisturize as you wash your hands of high prices. Suave. Don't you look smart?